Hey guys, story time. So I lived in a group home called Noah's House in Forest City with a lady named Frosty. This jar of peanut butter reminded me of the story. One day I was hungry and Frosty made me something called a peanut butter and love sandwich. I'd never had one of those before, but it was fucking amazing. It literally changed my perspective on peanut butter for the rest of my life. So when I grew up, I wanted to give my kids peanut butter and love, but I didn't know what it was. So I would go to the store and I would buy all the different kinds of peanut butter, trying them and seeing hopefully maybe I'll find it. I never did. But I did find Frosty on Facebook 15 years later, and I messaged her and I go, Frosty, you changed my life with the peanut butter and love. And yes, maybe it was because it was the first time someone had ever shown me true love and affection, or maybe it was just because the peanut butter tasted fucking amazing. I don't know. You can take that shit up with my therapist. Anyway, so I was like, what's in it, Frosty? I have to know. She messages me back and says, honey. And I message her back and I say, Frosty, I love you too. Oh my God, yes. But really, I need to know what's in it. She messages me back and says, no, sweetie, it's honey. It's peanut butter.
So here's another word origin story. Yes, I realize that I only know the origins of cuss words. I mean, I know the origins of other words, but who the fuck cares where the word turkey comes from? It comes from the bird turkey. Anyway, so here's where the word fuck comes from. Could that truck be any fucking louder? Jesus Christ. Anyway, fuck. Back in the day, when there was a king and a castle, and a new king, he would be crowned. It would be called a coronation ceremony, and everyone in the kingdom would have to go to the castle. But like back then, people didn't get like unions and days off. So blacksmiths worked every fucking day of the week. But that day, all villagers would be at the castle. So the blacksmith would be like, fuck, I get a day off. I'm going to stay home, and I'm going to fool around and fuck my wife. But if you got caught not coming to the coronation ceremony and staying home, you were charged with fornication under the coronation of the king, or fucking. And it was actually punishable.
All right, guys, I have a CBT, DBT coping skill. So if you self-harm, like for instance, say you cut on the forearm right there, instead of doing that, go to Michael's, and for 99 cents, and if you use a 40% off coupon at michaels.com every single day, they're 49 cents. But just get you a thing of glittery, puffy paint, like you put on a shirt. And instead of cutting, put the glittery, puffy paint on your arm. Draw a nice little smiley face. Draw a sun. Draw a star. Do a fucking mandala. I mean, I don't care. But leave it alone, and then as you do that, as it dries, it's going to pull on your skin. It's going to make your skin feel like it's being pulled, and you're going to get that same sensation that you do when you cut, but you don't actually have to cut. And at the end, when it's dry, you can peel it off, and you'll have like a little smiley face sticker to remind you that you didn't cut that day. Put that shit on your fridge. Put it in your journal. Put it by your nightstand, and collect smiley faces. It works. I promise. It works. So here's another food story from my group home days, and I'm realizing a lot of these revolve around food, so yes, I'm aware of this. And should I talk to my therapist about it? Perhaps. Side note. So when I lived at Noah's house with Frosty, she made me something called a croque monsieur, which is ham with Gruyere cheese and a bechamel sauce. It is not a grilled cheese sandwich with bologna or a ham and cheese sandwich. They are not the same. But after I left, it's not like Frosty gave it to me and said, this is called a croque monsieur. She said, here, try the sandwich. It's really good. And so after that, I went to group homes and they'd be like, are you hungry? What do you want? I'd be like, I want one of the ham and cheese sandwiches that Frosty made me. And everybody tried. And I always ended up with like a grilled cheese with bologna on it or a ham and cheese. Not what I wanted. So then about 5 years ago, I went to Emily's in Charlotte, and I ordered a croque monsieur by accident, actually. And I tasted it, and my brain was like, bah, bah, bah. Here's another useless fact for y'all. In North Carolina and Virginia, it is not illegal to drive without your shoes on. Because when they originally wrote the law, people didn't have shoes. Some people didn't own shoes, so they could not make it a law that you had to drive with your shoes on. So thank God for me, because I never wear fucking shoes. I literally never wear fucking shoes. I'm always in socks, and I go to the school, and I'm in socks. I go to the grocery store in socks. I go to the bank in socks. Everywhere I go in socks. Sometimes when it's cold out, I wear thicker socks, but I'm socked feet all the time. And I drive around barefoot all the time. Now, I do live on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina, so I have to make sure that when I drive into South Carolina, I at least carry a pair of shoes with me. So if I get pulled over, I can just, like, slip them on. But, nope, I don't drive with shoes on. And in North Carolina, it is not illegal. Useless fact of the day for y'all. All right, here's another useless knowledge fact about music. And y'all are going to have to do the due diligence on this one. But it is out there. It's not easy to find, but it is out there. The Beatles song, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. The version that we know the one that we hear on the radio and the one that they put out is not the original version that they wanted to put out. The one that they wanted to put out was creepy and trippy, and it had John doing this like weird laugh throughout the entire song, and it's creepy as fuck. But you gotta understand that they were totally like, we are marketing this for those kids that have just discovered like psychedelic drugs, and we want them to buy our music. But the music industry came in and was like, no. So what we ended up with is decent. But take the time and look up. Hey guys, so this is the story of if how I ever get murdered, the cops will literally think that I'm 25 years older than I actually am. And the reason why is because of this. You see that blue thing back there? Yeah, people keep commenting that I have something blue in my mouth, and I do. It's an old cavity from when I was 12, and I got taken into foster care, and I went to the dentist for the very first time. And I got 5 cavities on this side and 4 cavities on this side, and no Novocaine, because you get what you pay for in foster care dentistry, and we didn't pay him anything, so we didn't get the greatest care. Point is, this thing, they outlawed them in like 1970. They were not allowed. It literally is like illegal to put them in your mouth. And yet I was born in 1979, and when I was 12 in like 1994, I got that thing put in my tooth by a dentist. So if I ever die and they do dental shit, the cops are going to think I'm 50 or older. So I have to do this video, but I don't want to do the video because it's stupid. People keep commenting that they think that I'm lying, that my group home stories aren't real. And like, aw, ain't you fucking cute and naive that you think I'd have to make that shit up and that I didn't really live that life? Because like, ain't you fucking funny? Yeah, no, that was true. Everything I'm telling you is true. I was taken into foster care when I was 11 years old. I lived in 19 different placements. I lived in group homes and foster homes. Terrible and horrible, awful, unspeakable things happened to me in those places, and social workers knew and did nothing. Also, wonderful, amazing things happened to me, and I learned how to love and compassion and kindness, and I learned about peanut butter and love. And so, yeah, all those things happened. Why would I lie about them? Who? What? Bitch, you fucking funny. That's all I can say. Y'all are funny for thinking that I'm making this shit up. Alright guys, so here's a great story. So I lived in a group home. I lived in my home with my mom, and then I went to go live in a foster home. And my social worker shows up to get me at school, and he's like, got all my shit from my place in a garbage bag. And I was like, no, I need my clock. Because back in the day, it was all about radio stations. So I had all the radio stations program 99.9 Kiss FM, bitches, with Chuck Finley in the fucking morning. I still remember. I wonder if he's still on the air. Asheville peeps, let me know. Is Chuck Finley still around? Anyway, so I wanted my radio, so my social worker brought me my radio from my house with my mom and my horses, and the horde that lived in the house with us. This radio did not get plugged in immediately. It just sat on the bed for like an hour or two while I went and ate dinner. I came in, I opened the door, and I swear to God, y'all, that entire room was covered in fucking roaches. They came in the radio. They were in the radio. I had no idea. I panicked. I was like trying to kill them. Thousands of them. Here's a great group home story. And this will just go to show you like the stupidity of the foster care system. So when I was 15, I lived with a lady named Audrey Rogers. I had a baby when I was 15. I lived in her custody with my baby. Okay? This was in 1994, the same year that the movie Forrest Gump came out. We all remember Forrest Gump with Tom Hanks. Jenny, dear Lord, make me a bird so I can fly far, far away from here. Oh my God, dude, did I resonate with that fucking Jenny character? Holy fucking shit. Anyway, so I really wanted to see the movie. My foster mom goes, I'm sorry, that movie's rated R. You can't see it. Bitch! I've had a motherfucking baby at this point. What the fuck do you think I'm gonna see in Forrest Gump that is gonna influence me to do something worse than have a baby at 15? Never got to see it. I read the book, though, and I highly recommend it. In the book, he goes into fucking space with a monkey. I swear to God, I'm not joking.
Alright guys, so this is the story of how Wendy's saved my life growing up. So, I was hungry a lot. My mom used to spend all of our money on alcohol and sell our food stamps. So we were hungry. There was no food in our house. And people, when I say there was no food in the house, I literally mean there was no food in our house. So even at 7 and 8 and 9, it was on me to feed me and my brother. So what we would do is we would walk up to the Wendy's on Patton Avenue. No, I'm so sorry. It was the Wendy's on Merriman at that time. And we would go, and they had bar, and it was a salad bar, a potato bar, and a chili bar. And George would go to the register and get a large water with lemon and sugar, and I would go to the condiments and get saltines and ketchup and mustard and salt and pepper, all of which were free. None of this was stolen. We were all taking free things. We would go home, and we would spread the ketchup and the mustard on the saltines with the salt and the pepper, and we would eat them. Thousands of dinners, y'all. Thousands of dinners. I literally would have died with it if it was not for Wendy's. And I just want to say thanks, Dave Thomas, for saving me.
So this is an important message. Thursday pep talk. I'm sick today. And everyone gets sick. That's just part of the human body. You're going to get sick. It's going to fucking happen. But you can approach it one of two ways. One way is to be, oh my God, I'm sick and I hate being sick and it sucks being sick and I'm miserable and I'm going to just lie in bed and moan and cry and whine and be miserable. That is a way to approach it. And a lot of people approach being sick that way. But I approach being sick differently. I am like, yay, I'm sick. Holy shit. I look at it like the universe giving me a day off. I don't ever get days off, but the universe today was like, nah, bitch, you get a day off today. Now I'm sick, and that sucks. But I'll take some tussin, and I'll feel better. And then I'll play Candy Crush that I never have time to do. And I'll watch Maury and Jerry Springer that I never have time to do. And I'll take a bath, and I never have time to do. And I'll make myself grilled cheese and soup, and I'll take care of myself. And I'll be like, yeah, it sucks being sick, but I'm going to try to be as positive. Hey guys, I'm still sick, but that Robitussin's got me feeling some kind of way. And I got to tell you, some of these memories, they were pretty traumatic, so I like blocked them, but I just remembered one that I had totally forgotten. One day my mom comes to 4th grade and picks me up. She's hysterically crying. Principal comes and gets me out of class. Shauna, a member of your family died. I'm like, oh my God, is it my brother? Is it my dad? Because, like, that's my whole fucking family. I go to the office, my mom is fucking hysterical. Cannot even speak to me, is just sobbing and retching. So I was like, Mom, who is it? What's going on? She couldn't speak. We did not have a car. We walked. We walked the entire mile and a half, an hour-long walk. She still would not tell me who it was the whole walk home. We finally get home. She finally calms down, and I'm like, Mom, who the fuck died? She goes, dead ass. Luke and Laura, Shauna. Luke and Laura. Dude, Luke and Laura, fictional characters from a soap opera. Hey guys, here's a 60-second Dave Thomas facts for you. Dave Thomas was adopted, and because of that, he runs something called the Dave Thomas Foundation, which helps older foster kids get adopted. Let me tell you, older foster kids, they don't get adopted. They go to group homes, and you don't get adopted from group homes. You just get kind of harbored there. But he finds older foster kids permanent adoptive homes. He's my motherfucking hero. But then there's this. So Dave Thomas went to the military voluntarily. That's where he learned how to cook. Came back, 1950, 1960. He had a mentor. It was Colonel Sanders from KFC. One day they're just chilling, sitting around the table. Dave Thomas is like, Colonel, why aren't you in your videos? You're personable. You should be in your videos. Colonel Sanders is like, I never really thought about it, but why not? So he tried it. The market share went through the motherfucking roof, and Colonel Sanders made so much money off of Dave Thomas's suggestion that he gave him the money to open up his very first restaurant. And because Dave Thomas loved Colonel Sanders so much, that is why you will never find fried chicken at a Wendy's. All right, guys, here's a good group home story. So when I lived at Elida, I had a staff person there named Julie Morrig, and Julie Morrig would come in every single night, and every girl, she would go around and she would put her finger out like this, and then you would put your finger out and touch her finger because, no physical contact. And when you touched fingers, you had to tell her something good that happened that day, or something good that you did that day. And it was just so great, and it really got me through that whole time. So when I graduated from that group home, I got up there and I said, thank you, Julie Morg, for giving me the finger every night. Yeah, that didn't go over well because they thought that she was like inappropriately touching me. And I was like, no, 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 no. She's literally just touching my finger. She's literally just touching my finger. We laugh about it now, but it was not a good time for her back then. I still love her for it, though. I still do. All right, guys, one more video. So if you do not know, I have 3 girls. They are all on the autism spectrum. My twins, they did not talk until they were 5. They were in speech therapy for 2 years. I listen to a lot of music in my car. Love music, but I listen to a lot of soundtracks, including Rocky Horror Picture Show and Little Shop of Horrors, Guys and Dolls, all of them. Chicago, Hey Big Spender. Like, I just love soundtracks. So after going to speech therapy for a very long time, my Kylie Ann decided to say her first words. We changed speech therapists. New speech therapist comes in and says, "Hi, my name is Janet." To which my Kylie Ann says, "Damn it, Janet." I freak out because, like, holy shit, she fucking spoke. But then I'm like, oh my god, like, damn it, Janet. Luckily, Janet was a huge fan of Rocky Horror Picture Show and thought that it was fucking hilarious. I, on the other hand, was like, kind of embarrassing,